about the business of starting a business. We're going to be talking about the 5 steps to starting a home business. And today it's all about just quickly going over what the 5 steps are. And then later on we'll be talking about how to each step and getting into more detail. But for now, this is going to be starting a home business, and we're going to get you organized and starting your business right now. So you're probably wondering, who am I? Well, I'm Jane Gardner. I work with my husband in our structural engineering firm for the last 20 years. And I live in Western Canada. I'm an artist, and I have been on the internet about 3 or 4 years. And I'm going to be helping people to start their own home business. So we're going to be talking about, first, identifying your target market. When you're looking at your business, who are your customers? Have you got an idea for your business? I hope so. If not, we'll do another webinar on identifying your business. But for now, let's assume you know what your business is and what your product or service is that you're going to be doing. So now you have to figure out who is the ideal person who's going to buy your products. And you've got to be really specific on that, because this person has a particular want that your product or service meets for them. So when you start a business, you always have to create a target market profile. This is a persona of the individual person that is representative of your market as a whole. So why narrow it down to one person? If you can narrow it down to one person and make it as specific as possible, then you can compete with bigger or more established companies. A big company with a huge budget for marketing has a great deal of resources, but you don't. So you want to be able just to, for now, to find your specific persona of the person who wants your product or service. So of course you have to decide what is your product or service actually serving as a solution to someone's need or want. And that's a whole nother process as well. But the first step in any business is to, of course, identify who your customers will be. So you've got to narrow your market down to compete with bigger companies. And obviously, so if you know specifically who exactly is your customer, is it realtors who are living in a certain area? Is it small business owners who want to do some marketing and want someone to help them with their marketing? Or is it work from home moms? And you get even more specific in terms of figuring out who are the small business owners who run established businesses that take in so much income per year that are based in the American Midwest, if that's your target market. Or you get more specific by saying, who are the work-at-home moms in their 20s and 30s who value their independent lifestyle, and your product or solution will help them with that lifestyle. So a good profile would include information like age, location, income levels, stage in career, industry, or expertise. So there's a bit of work to do with the first step in your identifying your target market. And we'll be talking about that further on another webinar. But today, we're going to go on and talk about some of the next steps. Well, of course, you have to create your target market profile, and you have to gather information about your existing customers, competitors, some of the existing forums that might talk about the topic that you deal with in your business, and find out what's trending to see if you have a market out there. So you get data from conducting research on your existing customers, and come right out and ask people who follow you what they're interested in, what their challenges are, what they could really need or want, and find out if that your product or service is going to be the one that's going to help them. And then the second step that you want to do is, of course, create a unique solution to that problem. So once you know who your target market is, then you can now focus on the problems they're facing and what you can do to help. Take something your audience members are struggling with and offer them a solution. Solve the problem in a way no one else in your industry does. Focus on the strengths of your product or service and what's unique about it, and look at similar offerings from your competitors and identify how are you different? How can you be different? How can you not compete with others, but be a unique solution to a problem or solution to a desire that your target market wants? So make your product as unique as possible by adding to it, adding bonuses or value. Even after your launch, keep seeking feedback and make improvements. So you're going to be looking at creating the solution and what you think would be the solution that would be what someone would desire. So how does your product or service uniquely solve a problem or fulfill a desire? Once you've figured that out, then you can set up your business basics. So figure out your costs of your product or service. Of course, you will have investments you have to do and expenses for your business. So you need to define some of those expenses and investments that you need to do. And you'll have to figure out costs, including things like licenses and permits, legal fees, insurance, marketing, rent, if you have to rent out a space, event funding and stuff. Create a spreadsheet and brainstorm every single expense you might need. And then you've got to set up a legal entity, depending on the country you're based in. So your business will have to maybe be a proprietorship or a limited company, or just also just be something that is required for the country that you're in. Because the country always wants its taxes for any business, so you've got to be able to have a legal entity. And of course you've got to pay your taxes depending on the country you're based in. So you can have to figure that out as to what kind of business you're going to be. So sole proprietorship or limited company, etc. Go see an accountant and go and set up your tax ID, because you'll need to file taxes in your business operation and outsource to a specialist like an accountant if necessary. And of course you've got to have insurance. Even if you do your business out of your home, you still have to have liability insurance, and you've got to make sure that if you have staff that are living in your home as well with you, that you have insurance to cover any negligence or injuries while they're on your business. And of course, if you offer a service like coaching or consulting, you need to have professional negligence insurance. You also have to protect your rights in terms of your intellectual property. So go see a lawyer and find out what documents you need to have in order to protect your business that you're creating, as well as everything your customer needs to know, like your terms and conditions. It's getting tougher and tougher to be in business now, so you've got to make sure that all your legal contracts are set up to make sure that you reduce your risk and you have confidentiality, and include everything your customer needs to know before they buy from you. Then you've got to state your privacy policy now, so you've got to protect and use your customer data with protecting their privacy. And of course you've got to set up what you need to take payments. So you need your shopping cart or your invoicing process. So what's the next steps? Well, you have to research your business basics in your country, figure out what the legal things you have to set up, and then create a spreadsheet for all your startup investments and expenses that you'll need to have in order to start your business. And now you can do some fun stuff and define your brand, because of course you've always got to have an entity that people can recognize and an image that sets your company apart. So a good brand is clear, memorable, and consistent. It's more than just a logo or a motto. It's an image of your business. It's consistent across all your products and marketing materials, and most of all, it conveys what you want people to think about your company. So you need to be able to show people that you're trustworthy and knowledgeable on your business. And then of course the best way to come up with a brand is to start with the associations you want people to make. So decide what kind of short phrases or adjectives or what kind of ideas you want people to think about when they think about your business. So use that to create your brand, and we'll talk about that in more detail at another time. So you've got to identify the themes of your brand and how will you communicate through these themes through marketing. And then of course now you've got to develop a realistic marketing plan. So you've already researched your target market. You've already decided what the unique solution is in your business for your business, and you've also done your branding. So next you have to try and figure out some of your marketing plan. So a good marketing plan can be quite complex, but there are some basic elements that they all share. So of course there's pricing. You've got to figure out your production and costs that need to be covered. You have to, in order to do your pricing. I mean, it's tricky the first time, but first get an idea what people are already paying for what's being offered out there, and make sure you can charge more than a growing rate. You offer more extra value, and remember that you can always adjust prices later if you're not seeing the sales you want, or offer different pricing options. And then you've got to figure out how you're going to promote it, how you're going to reach your audience to tell them about your unique product or service. So identify the places where your target market hangs out, online and offline, and how you'll get your message to them. For example, you might decide to hold booths at trade shows or post informational articles to websites that your audience enjoys. Then you've got to look at your competition and follow them online. See what other people have to say about them, consume their content, try out their products. If you know your competition well, you'll also understand what your target market thinks about them, and you'll know how to propose something unique, separate, and different from what they do. So you always want to find the gap in their offerings that you can fulfill. And of course you've got to set goals for your marketing and decide what metrics you use to measure these goals. And they should be specific and have deadlines attached. Next step. So complete your marketing plan by researching pricing, promotion, competition, and setting measurable goals. So, was this report helpful? If you like what you read about the 5 essential steps to starting a home business step by step, I am offering a course, but for now you can get this report for free, and then you can go on and do the course if you wish. But for now you can get the free report that shows you the steps and how to start your business from scratch. And to do that, you just go to the link below, http://bohbtips.com/step-by-step. On that page, you will be able to download a report and get started on planning your home business. As well, in the back of the report, if you want to learn further on the course on how to start your home business step by step, then you can of course go and have a look at that. But for now, I want you to go and get some information, start putting down some notes on these ideas and what you think your business does to serve your business, serve your audience and your target market, and have a home business that you will enjoy. So thank you for listening. This was Jane Gardner, and we'll be talking to you again, going into more detail into the 5 steps at another time. Just keep on listening and have a look at the bohbtips.com/step-by-step. And of course, I'll give you notification when the next seminar will be. Thank you.